I'm going to show you how to draw some birds now, seeing as the theme for this month is birds. I'm going to use a wet on wet technique. So if you've watched the other videos and you remember, that means that your paper is going to be wet either with water or with paint first, and then I'm going to add wet paint on top of it. That's the wet on wet technique. Now this is going to be a free-flowing birds, so they're not going to be detailed, but they're going to be quite artistic and flowing, and it's quite relaxing. Okay, so the overall shape of a bird when they're sat down is perhaps an oval. So you've got an oval body and like a circular head. So that's actually what I'm going to do and paint with water. Now you can, when you put your water on the paper, you can actually see where you've put it. So you're basically just painting but with water. I'm just going to do, that was my body, that's the head. Okay, I'm going to do one bird at a time just so that the water doesn't dry. You can kind of see the shape here. For my first bird, I'd like it to be orange and blue. So I've got a bit of orange already here. Pick it up. I'm just going to put it around the edge of the bird and drag it in. Now, as you can see, the watercolour, the paint, has actually just followed where the water is. It hasn't gone outside the line. If I dragged it, then yeah, it would, but I'm not. So it's just sitting in the water shape. That's quite fun. I'm going to add some blue. It's quite fun, isn't it? Now, if you've got a straw, this is a fun bit. If you've got a straw, I want the tail. So this is going to be the tail. So these birds are going to be sat on like a line or a twig or something. I'm going to make the tail down here. So if I come around this side and I blow with my straw. Okay, as you can see, that didn't work. I'm going to add some more water to it. That's okay, just trial and error it. I'm going to add some more pigment. We're all learning together, aren't we? There we go. Just had a bit of fun. There's the tail. So you can do that with every bird that you're doing. Okay, I'm going to do the body of the second bird. So again, I'm going to get a clean paintbrush with clean water. Roughly going to make, oh gosh, make a body. Now if you've done some water like I have there that you don't want, if you get a little bit of tissue, or my sleeve in this case, dab it, you'll get the water off. Now for this bird, I want it to be green, so I'm going to pick up my green colour. I want it to be a bit more of a forest green. I think this one, I would like a bit more paint. I want the bird to be more opaque, which if you've watched the other videos means it's less see-through. Because that one is nice, it's delicate, but I want it to be a bit more vibrant. So I'm going to add a bit more colour to it. Oh, that is quite vibrant. I'm going to put yellow in this one as well. Cute. Again, I'm going to add some water down the bottom. Grab my straw. Okay, that tail is probably... Now if you want to change the tail up, I feel like my tail didn't really, you can just add in some paint. Just kind of drag it with your paintbrush. And then you can do your third bird. So these birds are dry enough now to work on. The tails are still a bit wet, but I don't need to work with those, so that's fine, but the bodies are pretty much dry. So at the moment they look like bird blobs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a little beak and some little feet and then a line. So this is going to be wet on dry. So my background is dry, the paint is now dry, and I'm going to add some wet paint now. I think I want the birds and the beak, or the feet and the beak, sorry, to be brown. Now I've already got quite a good brown here, I quite like that. So I don't think I'll mix that, but I do need to take the paint off because and put it onto my palette, because otherwise you'll get too much paint. However, I do want it quite dark, so maybe we'll try. Okay, I think I'm going to start with this little birdie. Just going to give him a nice little beak. Whoops, his beak went very long there. Maybe I'll give him some eyes. Now, as you can see, that bit wasn't quite dry. I mistimed that, but that's okay. His feet kind of merge into his body, which I quite enjoy. Happy accident. Again, a little triangle for the beak. Oh, that one really wasn't dry. Okay, so definitely double check whether your paper is dry, because as you can see, that's now a wet part. The feet again. So you can either do little triangles or squares. I guess you could use yellow or any colour really. Could do a bit more of a funky one so that it looks a bit more abstract. I'm actually going to add a little bit more onto these beaks and eyes, and as you can see, it's layering up and making it a bit darker, which is great. That's what we want. Okay, I'm gonna add some little lines for the wings. As you can see as well, as the watercolour has dried, my colours have actually merged into each other, which is interesting. That's probably because I had quite a lot of water and pigment, and this will be where the water really ran into the colour, because you can see quite a clear outline. You can see quite a clear outline here as well. Again, oops, lift it off with some water. Yeah, to get rid of this sharp line here, if you add water to it and blend it and then dab it, that'll get rid of the really sharp line. So I'm just going to put some water over it. Do you see it's already coming off? And then if you dab it with a bit of tissue, gets rid of the sharp line and looks a little bit smoother. I'm now going to do a twig or something for them to sit on, so they will be putting their feet over the twig. So I'm just gonna there we go. I might make one end a bit thicker. Blend it in like I'm doing, or leave it as one line, however you want. Now, what I could have done here is done the twig or the feet a different colour so they don't blend in. But maybe if I add a bit of blue to the feet, like a bit different. There we go. And you've got your birds. You could pin this up on your wall. You could cut them out, make them into a card, whatever you'd like to do with them. Got your birds. Enjoy and have fun. Remember, it's about the process. It's relaxing and calming. You can put on some nice music like I have. Just enjoy the process.